Hey, that's us. It's the morning news, AM 1280 and FM 99.3. Just like the man said, it's time to get back to work here and have a conversation with our next candidate. This time in the 7th district, which would be Yakima's westernmost district.
That's right.
And I think almost, it looks on the map like almost largest geographical area physically, which means if you're doorbelling, you need to have a good pair of walking shoes if you want to get around. Mr. Gunnar Berg is the candidate in today. And Gunnar, good morning. How you doing? Good to have you here.
I'm great. Good morning, guys. I really appreciate you guys letting me come in. I think it's a great platform, and it's great that you guys are letting us candidates come in and introduce ourselves, especially the new ones.
Well, tell us about yourself. Yeah, tell us who you are, what you do. Tell me about your family. Kind of give us an overview.
Well, my name's Gunnar Berg. I was born and raised here.
Not that long ago, Gunnar.
Yeah.
You're looking young. How old are you?
I'm 24.
24.
Right.
And I went to St. Paul's Cathedral School and then Eisenhower High School, and then I went over to Gonzaga University and got a degree in public relations and broadcasting as a minor. So I kind of know
you're
this
right at home here. This is good.
yeah, it's nice to be back. I'm living my glory days, even though I'm 24. But anyway, I'm back here. I had a couple jobs outside of Yakima that I was offered, but I do love this city. My family's all here. I have great memories here, and now I'm a fruit sales representative with Yakima Fresh growers and shippers. So I sell fruit for those 3 local packing warehouses in town, and it's been great. Now I'm trying to challenge myself in a new way, and I think community involvement's one of those ways. And so I think if I won this position, which I'm intending to do, it'd be great. It's going to be a good experience, and it has been a good experience so far.
Still single?
No, I'm not. I'm dating a new girl, and it's going really well. And so thanks for that shout out.
What's her name? Come on, tell it on the radio.
Taylor Powers.
Hey, Taylor. How you doing?
All right. Well, good for you. Valley resident all your life. All right.
One of the first questions we're asking people, Gunnar, is because of there's a lot of misconceptions out there that the public has about really what is the job of a city council person. So it's a job you want, wondering how much you know about the job. What would you say is the job of a city council person for Yakima?
Well, I think people are going to focus on different things, but my theme for this city council election is to get government out of the way in a way. I want to focus on small businesses. I want to help more businesses come into Yakima, particularly downtown, and of course in my district I'd be focusing on. I've talked to a lot of my district residents, and a lot of them are talking about maintaining roads, and a lot of the main roads, Nob Hill, and some of you in those roads are fine, but some of those back roads do need a little work. And then on top of that, of course, public safety is, Ronald Reagan said, the first duty of the government. The first role of government is to protect people, not run their lives, and that's always resonated with me. And so that's what I want to focus on. I'm for the city council, and I want to do a heck of a job there. But my job is to work for the people that I'm appointed by. So,
Gunnar,
wait, let me follow that up. No, we haven't been doing follow-ups, but let me clarify what you just said. Your job is to work for those. So what? That's a district consideration versus a generic consideration?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No. Of course, the ACLU case, we do need to focus on our districts, but I think it would be I was talking a lot about the downtown area. That's not in my district, of course, when I'm in District 7, but I just want to focus on, there are a couple main issues, like people living under the poverty line, that sort of a thing.
Okay.
And median income, compared to the state, and I do have those numbers if you're interested in hearing them.
We've got them as well. So I wasn't clear what you said, because my concern, and this is just a sidebar before we proceed, is that this is such a new system that the way it worked in the past, everybody was elected by everybody in town, and you had a sense of responsibility for everybody in town. Yeah. And under this circumstance, you'll be elected only by those people in the 7th district. And then how do you divide your attention to detail and duty split between the people of my district and me serving on the council as a whole? It's kind of like a Newhouse. He's in D.C. to represent the 4th congressional district, and yet he's part of the U.S. Congress, where he's got to make decisions based on the good of the nation. And how do you balance those two? So I wasn't sure what you were saying in that regard.
Well, Exactly. I think if you look at it from a larger point of view, you take the Congress or something like that, you do focus on your district and you represent your district, and there are a lot of those big issues like the downtown plaza and that sort of thing, and I have my own views on that, and I'm sure you guys will probably touch upon that, but my job isn't just to represent what I want. It's for my district, and so you'll have a vote for your district voice downtown.
Exactly.
Okay. And so that, I guess that's a better way of clarifying it.
Yeah, I got a sense where you're coming from now. All right, Lance, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just, I guess in a sense you've kind of answered this, but why are you running? Why at 24 years old do you want to step up and be a city councilman?
I've always been interested in politics. I look at a lot of the national level and I see where our country's going right now, and I wanted to get more involved. I wanted to challenge myself in a new way. And I had some time on my hands. I mean, I work a full-time job, but I'm a go kind of a guy. And so I think some of my, I can't say party lines, but conservative values I think would be beneficial. And I do have some ideas that I think would be good for our city. So in particular with job creation. I think if I can elaborate on that right now, I would say if we have a way of reducing taxes, of course, that'd be great. Our median income, you guys mentioned you have it, it's $43,000 a year, and statewide that's $59,000, and that's a huge variation, from city to city, and I think we're on the low end there. And so if we can reduce taxes and bring more people or more money into the pockets of hardworking people, I think that'd be great. Another thing we could do is maybe incentivize tax reductions for small businesses that are the lifeblood of job creation, as you guys know. I know you guys have your facts, but if we can give small businesses tax incentives to hire more people, we get more people working, which of course, again, is more people making money and spending money in our economy. And of course, that brings in more revenue for our city, and then you have more money as a government to spend money on your community, and the cycle continues. So
that's the way it works. Absolutely
that's
right.
What I believe. So
okay.
That's what I'm running.
Well, that's good. People need to know that. Kind of your economic philosophy, if you will. Skills and abilities. The one thing that you have, I think, going for you in this community is that we have seen a highly successful young man work his way into the council and work up to mayor. So the fact that you're young shouldn't freak people out. We're used to having a young guy who still looks younger than you, quite frankly. But you do have a skill set. You're working. You're wheeling and dealing in fruit. So I got to ask you, what skills and abilities do you possess? Part of your makeup, your toolbox, if you will, do you have that would help serve you best on city council?
I think what qualifies me to be on the city council would be a few things. Number one, as I mentioned before, I've lived here my whole life. I do understand some of the issues that we do need to focus on. I think that's very important when you're running for a small government like this, local government position. Another thing, as I mentioned, I'm a Gonzaga graduate, and a lot of people are college graduates, but I'm very proud of my degree there, and I learned a lot, not just about hard work and doing your homework in the sense of knowing what you're talking about and having the facts in front of you, but also just in the sense of the moral and ethical lessons that I learned when I was there as a student. And finally, I've been working in the fruit industry for 2 years now, and I'm still learning, and it's still a growing process, but I love it. I plan to continue doing it, and I think that's very valuable for our city council because it's the largest job-creating industry in Yakima, and to know the ins and outs of that industry for a position like this, I think is very beneficial. And not only that, I have contacts in that industry, and I think if we brought those people to the table more, they could invest more in their community, not just in infrastructure, but also in something such as a scholarship for new students so we can invest in our youth. That way.
That makes a lot of sense, Gunnar. Appreciate that.
Definitely. Gunnar, I guess there was a reason why you came back. You love this valley.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of us do. Tell us, in your opinion, what you think is the best thing about the Yakima Valley.
Well, I think it's a gold mine. That's a great question. I think that Yakima is a city that has a ton to offer, and I don't think everybody necessarily realizes that. We've kind of been labeled over the years for being a city of crime, and our crime has been going down, and I hope we maintain and actually increase our level of stopping crimes. But when you look at other industries that we have, not just the fruit industry that isn't just nationally known, but it's worldwide. I mean, people in China ask for Yakima fresh labeled boxes,
Yeah.
which is unbelievable. I didn't necessarily know that. I've seen, Apple signs and everything, but when I got into the industry, I really realized how much our city helps out not just our nation, but the world. And another thing, the hop industry is also big, and it continues to grow. And right now you have Walla Walla, who takes up a lot of our public relations. They're kind of known for their, vineyards and all those things. But Yakima has lots to offer there, too. And one company that comes to mind is Bale Breakers. They're the up-and-coming company, and they have even taps at Safeco Field, which I think is pretty cool as a young man. But
yeah.
But we have a lot to offer here, and it's not just a city, a nationally known city or a world-renowned city like Seattle or San Francisco, but we're a small city, and there aren't many small cities out there who do have the opportunity or the pull that we do have. And so that's what I like about Yakima, and I know that we can do a lot more to make the city better. One of those areas that I would want to focus on would be the lumber mill site. If we brought in a company like, I always think of Boise, Idaho, and how they got Micron, that technology company that made microchips and that sort of thing. If we brought in a company like that, not necessarily a tech company or whatever, but just a large company that hired a lot of people, 1,000 people or 3,000 people or something for skilled labor or, decent wages, you'd start having a lot more people get jobs, and the job market would switch from one of the businesses having all the leverage to the workers having the leverage. So you have to increase your wages as a business to keep the skilled labor. And that would start playing in hand, I believe, with the fruit industry, because right now you have jobs that are low skill paying jobs, and if you want to keep labor, you'd start having to increase the pay that you're giving everybody, and that right there, again, that cycles through, and people start making more money, and it makes our city better, and so that's what I think Yakima has to offer, and I know it has a lot to offer, and I do like the city, and that's why I came back.
All right. There are a number of things that are already in motion that will continue. It's not as though a person joins the council and everything's fresh. There's a lot of things that are partially completed or in motion along the way, and some of these are the more high-profile or controversial, so we'll hit you up on a couple of those. Let's start with the downtown plaza. Your district is as far away from the downtown plaza geographically as any of them, but the plaza isn't just the downtown area is the place where the plaza sits, because the idea behind the plaza was a game changer for downtown. Save the heart of your city, save your city was the philosophical buy-in on that. So what's your take on the plaza project?
I am for the plaza. People stay black and white on that issue, but it's been controversial, 50-50. I'm going around talking to different residents, door to door and that sort of thing, and I have been taking tallies, and I'm seeing what they want. I have the opportunity to voice my opinion because I'm going around and I'm running. And I believe that it would do a few things. I think it would be a central location for big events like Hop Fest, that sort of thing. I think it would spur our economy. It would bring more people downtown. The foot traffic down there would be great. And I think it would bring more small businesses downtown. We have the Couchy Kitchen, for example. I think that's a great start. I don't think we should stop there. I think that we have a lot more potential to bring in 5 different restaurants, for example, and you'd have like a Bend, Oregon type city where people go down every week.
Something going on all the time.
And
when we were at Bend earlier, that's what people said. There's always something going on. That gets back to the programming of the plaza space, and that's part of the master design. All right, so put you in the plus column there. What about the controversy over the marijuana ban? Last city council meeting, half dozen people came out once again to ask the city to consider rescinding the ban. There wasn't an interest to do that on the current council. What's your take on the city's marijuana ban?
This is a pretty, I believe a lot in this. I have a lot of ideas on this issue, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. I think that it's bad that we have marijuana companies coming into town. I know that might sound a little bit too outdated. I'm not up to the
64
times.
Or are you 24? That's right.
I think I might be 64 on this issue. But But I've seen marijuana around my peers when I was growing up, in high school and in college and that sort of thing, drug use. And I believe that any intoxicant, like any drug entering the body, is not going to help an individual out. I think if you bring in more drugs, it's going to make a community worse off. And I've talked to a lot of teachers and a lot of police officers about that, and the majority of them, the vast majority, would agree. And as long as I'd be a city council member, I would be against bringing in more drug or marijuana companies. And frankly, I don't think it's good for a community. I wouldn't like to see a marijuana shop across the street from Eisenhower, for example, in my district, or that sort of thing. And
fair enough. I don't know that zoning would let it go there, but we get your point.
Yes, definitely. Hey, just a couple of minutes left. Quick answers on public art. You support public art?
Yeah.
All right. City's role in economic development, public safety, police, that whole thing. How do you feel about that?
I think we do need to keep trying to get more companies. I think we need to focus on small businesses. I mentioned that earlier with a few things there. But we focus on small business. We also focus on public safety. And I don't know if you guys watched the Yakima Herald video, our first little video. But on there I talked about the broken windows theory. And a lot of people are going to say that gangs is the main thing we need to focus on, and they're correct. We do need to focus on gangs, but we do need to make a culture around here where low-level offenses are not acceptable. And I'm talking graffiti, vandalism, that sort of a thing, illegal use of tobacco or marijuana for minors. I suppose if you get rid of the low-level offenses, what the Bureau of Justice found was that violent crimes decreased significantly. And under Rudy Giuliani, when I was looking at facts from him, when he was the mayor of New York City around the time of September 11th, violent crimes went down 56%. And if we just got
a zero tolerance mentality.
Exactly.
Right? That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And if we just had a fraction of that success in Yakima, and I know our police force, I'm in full support of them. They're doing a heck of a job. But if we brought in a couple new ideas, I think we could bring it down even more so. And we need to keep that going.
Gunnar, we appreciate your time. We're out of time for this morning, but thanks for coming in. Best of good luck, and we'll talk to you again down the road.
I appreciate it.
Fox News underway.